may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
All right, guys, this is going to be a little bit of a different video in that I know usually we talk about a player, usually we talk about player list. That way I can get into the nitty-gritty details. That's not what we're going to be doing here. Here we are going to be talking about Dynasty fantasy football strategy and how you can outwork your opponents with these strategies to go out there and turn your roster around this offseason, become one of those dominant Dynasty teams. I know there are a lot of owners that really just like to sit back, draft the rookies as they come into the NFL. And if you are a solid rookie drafter, you can find success that way. But my own strategy is the strategy of trading, making sure we understand how player value is going to fluctuate throughout the offseason and the season, understanding when you are going to be going out and purchasing a player, purchasing a pick, or trading a pick away. It makes all the difference in Dynasty leagues because a lot of people just follow the crowd and they don't necessarily understand that there are easy things that you can do to guarantee yourself a profit on your Dynasty fantasy football roster. Okay, so before we get into the video, I want to thank everybody real quick for mass spamming that like button. I mean, y'all have been ridiculous with the amount of likes y'all leaving on videos, and it's causing our subscriber count to skyrocket, and I really owe y'all a massive thank you. Let's get into the video, and here let's talk about perfecting our trade timing. And first, let's talk about what I think that we should be doing during this time right now. Okay, guys, I'm recording this video before week 17 kicks off. All of our Dynasty leagues are over. We're transitioning over to the offseason, but we just spent 16 weeks mulling over start-sit decisions, looking at what player projects to be the best in that immediate week. And what we have not been focusing in on is we have not been focusing in on long-term value nearly as much because that short-term production is so important during the fantasy season. And while a lot of people are understanding right now, okay, let's change our mindsets. Let's get into our off-season thought process and try to build our team through value and not necessarily points scored. What we need to do is, as the crowd decides to shift their thought process that way, we need to flip the switch right now. You need to go out there and understand that these veteran players that were putting points up for you and making an impact in 2020, if they do not project nicely in the long term, I need to be selling them off our rosters. These are players like Marvin Jones. These are running backs like Myles Gaskin. These are players where we don't necessarily know what 2021 holds for them, but they had a solid end to 2020 that fantasy owners are going to remember. And so say you're going out there and trading Myles Gaskin away for an early 2021 second round rookie pick, or even in a Superflex league, a mid 2021 rookie pick. I know here a lot of people are going to be saying, Mason, why would you make that move? I mean, Myles Gaskin looks like a feature down running back on one of the emerging offenses in the NFL. And here I'm saying, guys, we have to understand that we are not looking for points right now. You do not need points in your starting lineup for another 8 months. I mean, it's going to be so long until you hit that submit lineup button that what we are trying to do is we are trying to get our teams ready for 8 months of trading, 8 months of trying to get the most value on our Dynasty rosters as possible. And I mentioned this in our rookie pick trading video a few weeks back, that these rookie picks are going to be extremely valuable throughout the course of the offseason. Because a player like Marvin Jones or a player like Myles Gaskin, while yes, they will hold value for a roster that is older, a roster that is full of veterans and that just wants to compete in 2021, that's going to be a very few amount of teams. I mean, I tell you right now, go put Marvin Jones on the trade block in your leagues. Show me how much interest that you are going to get. Maybe you have 4 teams reaching out to you. Maybe you have some guys going, you know what? I'll give you a late second for Marvin Jones. I'll give you an early 3rd round pick. I mean, Marvin Jones is a role player for 2021 that maybe I'll be able to rely on. Whereas if you just wait until we get into the height of the NFL draft season, if you wait until May, you wait until June, you know how many teams are going to be interested in Marvin Jones? one, maybe two, because nobody is going to think about hitting that submit lineup button because we would have 6 months of just looking at our dynasty teams and how they project in the long term and the construction behind them. So my main piece of advice right now is to go out there and please sell your veterans. I understand that this is going to be something that we are changing our tune on later in the video when we're projecting how we're going to be making moves later in the offseason. But right now, I would love to sell all these veterans before we get to NFL free agency, before we get to the draft, because we don't know how their jobs are going to hold up. Maybe they see something that we do not like in their value chasms. Okay, so now let's talk about what we are going to be doing in terms of if you want to sell your rookie picks. What is the best time if you're going to be trying to sell these picks? And I know a lot of people, the common thought is you sell your rookie picks when you are on the clock. That's when they're going to hold the most amount of value. Personally, I don't agree with that. While yes, in certain draft classes, if we see players find nice landing spots in the NFL draft, then yes, that is the best time to sell a rookie pick because then those picks are going to increase in value. But say we go back to a 2018 draft class where really things were a little bit random in the NFL draft, then you saw rookie picks lose a little bit of value going into your rookie drafts. Here I have a solid strategy where you can go out there and guarantee yourself a profit on these rookie picks if you buy them now and want to sell them later on. The time that you sell your rookie picks is after the NFL Combine. And why I'm saying this is because after the NFL Combine, we will have already had months of everybody listening to their favorite podcast, everybody reading articles, everyone doing research and going out there and trying to determine what their favorite rookie is going to be. And then once we get to the NFL Combine, there are going to be some random rookies popping up with nice athletic profiles, and that's going to get a lot of people talking. It happens every year, guys. Since 2014, when I've been following Dynasty Fantasy Football in the community every single day, after the NFL Combine, everybody comes out here and is drooling over this rookie class. I mean, it happens, and that is when you can sell your rookie picks for an immediate profit. So what I love to do in terms of the rookie pick route, if you are not a massive fan in the draft class, it doesn't matter. Go buy them right now. Because once we get done with talking about these rookies over and over and over again, and then we see them in the NFL Combine before they have their landing spots, everybody is going to be thinking best case scenario. Everybody's going to be looking at a player like Jamar Chase and going, oh my gosh, what if he lands in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow? Everybody's going to be looking at a player like Travis Etienne and going, oh my gosh, what if he lands in a spot like Pittsburgh? Everybody's going to be thinking of the best case scenario for their favorite players. Then we get to the NFL draft and we see a couple bad landing spots and things change tune. Okay, so now let's talk about studs versus depth. Okay, guys, whenever I am looking to trade for a stud or trade for depth, generally what I like to be doing is I like to be trading for studs early on in the offseason. What this allows for is it allows you for guaranteed value down the road. Now, I don't like to be trading picks for studs, but say a move that I would like to make, I would like to trade someone like Devontae Parker with Myles Gaskin, two nice depth pieces for a stud asset to build our cornerstone around, someone like a DJ Moore, someone that we know exactly where his value is going to be in 6 months. And that is how you really limit the overall risk that you are having on your dynasty roster as the offseason goes on. And then you have that guaranteed value where, say, maybe after we go through 6 months down the road and you go, you know what? Maybe I don't want DJ Moore on my roster. Maybe I want to trade him for a little bit more depth. That's when you can trade DJ Moore for the depth as we gear up for the fantasy football season in 2021, when we understand what running backs are going to have starting jobs, what wide receivers are going to be playing heavy snaps. And it's a very easy way to limit your downside risk of a bad landing spot in the NFL draft, taking away your running back, or a bad free agent signing, taking away your wide receiver. All right, now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really hope y'all got something from it. As always, if y'all did, go down there, drop that like, leave that comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if y'all have any questions or what video you would like to see next. I hope that this video was coherent. I really did not have a ton of stuff written down. Just I've been playing Dynasty Fantasy Football in a ton of leagues for a very long time. And in my opinion, this is the best timetable for you to go out there and make these moves. This is how you can guarantee some extra value going to your Dynasty Fantasy Football roster. Whereas if you just follow the crowd, if you trade for those rookies as rookie hype is at its all-time high, if you sell those veterans when nobody cares about the veterans, that is how you are going to get screwed. Oh, and I forgot to say the last thing that we were going to say. The time to buy veterans, the time to buy a running back like Myles Gaskin is actually going to be after the NFL draft. Because after the NFL draft, this is the spot where now we can project who is going to have a starting job when and where. And on top of that, we know that is the time where we have seen everybody and their moms just talk about the rookie class over and over and over again. And that is how these veterans become a discount.